The CRMA is providing a new membership benefit that will help editors improve the editorial calendars and maximize their readership. This is all powered by the digital rocket engines. This is the CRMA cover topic analysis. Today we're listening to this quick webinar. You can also, at the end of this webinar, contact us directly, and we will do an entire 1 hour to 90-minute session about your magazine and this reviewing the results and taking a look at your covers for the upcoming session. And you can also download this analysis at citymag.org. So, how do we get all this, the numbers that you're going to be seeing? Well, we use the Cover Rocket. That's one of the tools that we provide publishers. It has 20,000 covers in the Cover Rocket these days, all the way back to 1996, actually. 5,000 issue links. Issue links are a new feature and is really, really cool. For instance, at Secret San Diego, if you clicked on that little yellow button, that take you to San Diego Magazine's September 2016 issue, and you can see how San Diego Magazine presented that issue online, and also get some great ideas quickly by looking at everybody else's secret issues. So 5,000 issue links is a very large library of CRMA titles online. Plus, we have 100 cover topics that we are tracking for city and regional magazines. Why are newsstand sales still important? Oh, there's a ton of reasons. It's still top of funnel. It's a great measurement tool for tracking readership. It's brand exposure to the advertising community. It's important for us to stay keenly focused on our covers these days. So one thing we did learn through this study that's kind of interesting is average sales by month. And you'll see here that our summer issues did really well. June and August are selling above 10% each, and July was 4%. And the reason for that is summer issues do well because that's a season of some of our hottest topics, like Best of, Summer Fun, and our travel calendars. And of course, we are doing outdoor dining and issues like that. So obviously, summer is prime time. The shoulder seasons sell about average. And then winter tends to be underperforming for us, January, February, and March. Now, there is a trend in the CRMA that I find really interesting. It's the non-service cover topics. We're famous for our service cover topics, but a lot of us are doing more non-service topics. And it is important for the brand to have these journalism covers. But here's our challenge, is 87% of our journalism covers will sell below average, which would be possibly attracting less readers from the newsstand and actually less readers and subscribers. But 1 out of 7 do sell above average. So there's always that exception of the rule. And one of the hot covers was obviously Sonoma Magazine's The Fight Out of Their Lives cover. That was a great issue that talked about the Santa Rosa fire. That issue was a record-selling issue of all time, selling more than double any prior issue. And it just shows how compelling our editorial can be. And of course, that issue was up for a lot of awards, including the National Magazine Award. Typically, journalism covers sell about 20% below average. And right now, they account for about 1 out of 8 covers, about 12% of the covers for city and regional magazines. And topics for these type of covers you'll find under miscellaneous, power, business, crime, politics. I suggest looking at some of the non-service related cover topics that we have in the Cover Rocket if you're a member. And you might discover little pieces of gold that you can try yourself. So, our annual bestsellers are still selling great. Our Top Doctors issues are hot selling issues, and obviously we have a lot of advertising revenue coming in from that. The Best of issues work well every year, sell considerably above average, lots of readers coming in that way. And then another annual best-selling issue will be our summer issues, things to do this summer. Now, another topic category that's doing well, and I highly recommend doing a couple of these in a year, depending on your marketplace, is our local travel covers. Day trips, for instance, sells 38% on the average, above average on the average, however that comes out. But in any case, how we do determine these averages is we use a rolling 12-month period of time for each of the magazines. So the averages are based off of your sales for your magazine. And we do this for key CRMA titles. But you can see here, looking at it, day trips and weekends and islands and fall travel and national park issues or park issues, all these have a lot of reader satisfaction. So doing something in late spring like May or June can work really well, and then doing something in the fall as well. One thing that doesn't do well is talking about foreign travel. Just because we have an airport doesn't mean people will look at us as they're experts on their foreign adventures. So school cover topics are performing a bit below average. If you're doing the top schools, it's about 5% below average. But you can see here they're significantly below average. For instance, you can see here college and education issues tend not to do all that well these days. But what is hot is our hidden and secret cover topics. Those are doing really, really well. I know they're about the same type of thing. It's at the end of the day, it's whatever the editor wants it to be about. I highly recommend doing one of these 4 topics every year, just mixing it up every year. The other one could be the bucket list, or the every X should is 52 things everybody in Dallas should be doing. Those topics are doing really well. So they're almost like our best of issues, and we can treat them like that. And then another hot selling topic these days is getting out and hiking and biking and our trails issues. They're selling 32% above average. That's a lot of new readers that can come in because of this issue. Camping is doing well in certain marketplaces. If you have good camping in your backyard, it's just basically people wanting to know, go out and do things. One thing I will say about the trails is it needs to be very accessible. If somebody is in their 50s, and it needs to be hiking or biking for people like that, as opposed to radical mountain biking and such. Real estate, there's some topics that sell about average. And of course, there's within those ones like best places to live, there's some that will sell well above average. As like the San Diego magazine example. But best places to live on the average sells about average. So those topics can work. If you see cover topics that are, 10% above to 10% below, those are okay topics to do. What we're trying to do is avoiding the topics that are 15% below or more. And maybe 10% below is a little generous. So maybe 5% below. What you're looking for is topics that sell about average or higher. Beveraging, as much as I like to beverage, isn't doing as well as it once was. Yes, our craft beer issues can sell about average, depending on the marketplace. Some of them can sell significantly above average. But as you can see here, a lot of the other topics are not doing well. Best bars and best new bars is not selling well these days, nor is cocktails. So it might have been a topic that we needed to do once every 3 or 4 years. Some markets have done more than that, but it is still a topic to consider. It just needs to be very careful on how you execute it. And then restaurants, as we know, this is another topic that talking about food and restaurants twice or 3 times a year, your readers will never get tired with it. Best restaurant sells 20% above average in the last 5 years. And best new restaurants is about 8% above average, which is, as you can see, is lower than best restaurants. So best restaurants is definitely an issue that is a key cornerstone, just like best of is. There's some other interesting topics out there. Where the chefs eat is a very interesting cover topic that I could tell you more about during our cover session. And and then we're looking for other stuff like eating outside is popular. So there are some cover topics that don't sell well. If you're talking about sweets and desserts, that tends not to sell well. Brunch sells not nearly as well as breakfast or best breakfast. And then if you're doing stuff about celebrity chefs, that tends not to sell very well, and you have a smaller readership for that. Now, here's a whole list of cover topics that doesn't do well with our readers. For instance, fitness is 21, right in the middle is 21% below average. And a lot of magazines will do a fitness cover in January. It really needs to be local if you're going to do anything about fitness. But a lot of these cover topics are to be avoided or think through carefully on how you want to execute it, unless they're a journalism cover, which you are taking that step for branding purposes. Now, cover calendar recommendations. Hey, everybody knows you should be doing a best of every year in top doctors. The restaurants, as I mentioned earlier, 2 or 3 during the year, things to do this summer or summer fun issues, do well. And then, as you can see, you can throw in the mix, a couple journalism covers, a couple travel covers, and a variety of other covers to consider. And finally, contact me, or I'm going to be contacting you. Your CRMA member benefit is a free cover topic review session, which will go over in a period of 60 minutes. It might be a few minutes more than that, where we'll review this presentation and the analysis. And then we can also talk about your magazine and what you're thinking about doing in 2020. And I can share some great ideas out of the cover rocket. Thank you.